Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer. The feature race on a great card at Santa Anita on Saturday is the Grade 1 Awesome Again Stakes, part of the Breeders' Cup Challenge Series. This, of course, a win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Classic. Let's take a look at this field. Lots of folks are going to think this is a two-horse race between the leading handicap horse in the country right now, your morning line favorite, the number 6, Accelerate, and a horse that's probably not too far behind in many people's opinions, the number 5, West Coast.
I think most people would look at it that way, and most people would be right. These two horses on recent form just tower over this field, especially at a distance like this one. Two very, very good horses. It's only a 6-horse field. This is a very interesting matchup.
We will save the best for last. We'll take the field in post-position order for the folks handicapping along with us at home. 50-1 shot down on the rail. That's Shades of Victory. Heck, he was 80-1 last time out at Los Alamitos, and he stole it on the lead. Something tells me the pace situation could be a little different this time around, although I think Martin Pedrosa will go for the front.
Yeah, he should probably go for the front from the rail. 80-1 would be wouldn't even be value on him in this race against these two horses. It was a nice win for him last time, though.
Reed Saldana's done good work. We want to highlight that with the formulator fact on Shades of Victory, the number 1. Past couple of years, last out winners on dirt, older horses, 27%, 270 ROI. I'm not sure that formulator fact's enough to sway me into this horse's corner. I am a fan, however, of the number 2 Isotherm, just not in this race.
Yeah.
I needed him last time out, Mike, 7-2 in the Harry F. Brubaker. Tell the fans about the trip.
Well, listen, I guess it wasn't a great one.
It wasn't a great one.
It didn't work out that well for him. You know, none of it really matters when they want him back in a race like this, though. It's just they've got him in a spot here where he's just in too tough. The 1.25 miles, I don't even think, or the 1.125 miles is a better distance for this horse. Isn't he just a better turf horse, Dan?
I don't know.
I think he is.
I think he might be a better turf horse, although last time out in the dirt, I mean, you missed the break and you're 4-5 wide in a 4-horse field, and you're battling it out with Dabster, who's a pretty good horse that came back to win with a 94 Beyer. You could argue that he could have been a lot closer at the wire with a better trip, but you're right. This is just light years away in terms of a class standpoint stepping up. I think you should follow Isotherm. Not here, but when he gets a drop in class, maybe even the surface switch that he could possibly need. I think the 3 Prime Attraction is going to be part of this pace. Let's throw up the Timeform US Pace Projector and see what they've got in store for the Awesome Again. And they don't agree. They have Prime Attraction sitting off of the pace, and I'm not sure that's the case. I think the 1's going to go. I think the 3's going to go. Maybe West Coast and Accelerate will be in stalking range, eyeballing each other. Handicap the Pace Projector along with the PPs. Prime Attraction, I was a little bit surprised to see Kent Desormeaux in between horses battling it out in the early stages of the Pacific Classic. But let's be honest, it wouldn't have made a difference.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you're right. It wasn't going to matter, but I didn't really give this horse his best chance to be successful in that race. He still got a piece of it in there. Accelerate just blew the rest of that field out of the water. He's run some good races in the past. This horse, he's actually okay, and he could get forward in this race and maybe get a little bit of a better trip, but boy, he's still going to have to run the race of his life in the face of the top 2 favorites in here.
No, I agree with you. Listen, for a horse that got beat 16 lengths, he ran just fine last time out, because the horse that he was dueling with, along with Accelerate, he's still running in the Pacific Classic, and he was able to finish ahead of a couple of the horses, one of them the Lieutenant, and that might not say much for the Lieutenant. That a horse involved in a torrid speed duel still finished well ahead of the Lieutenant, best known perhaps as being the older half-brother to Triple Crown winner Justify. He earned a triple-digit Beyer in the Suburban when no match for Diversify. I wanted to give him a chance in the Pacific Classic, and if you're really nitpicking and trying to make excuses, and you really got to nitpick, he broke in, he got forced in the first 100 yards. He lost all chance to gain any kind of forward position. And I think if they had a chance to do it over again, they'd want to be a little closer. Yeah, that's probably right. The flip side of that is that he's got the 101 Beyer 2 starts back in the Suburban. In a race where Diversify just ran the entire field out of the race. Everybody was on fumes in there, and this horse just came along and picked up pieces for a no-threat second. That's the best race he's ever run on dirt, and it doesn't even really give him a chance in this race. Now, let's talk about the main protagonist, and let's throw up our top picks for the Awesome Again Stakes. I'm going to go with the number 5, West Coast, and West Coast ran some big races last year. He sort of emerged late on the scene. Travers, Pennsylvania Derby, good third in the Breeders' Cup Classic behind a superstar in Gunrunner, good second behind Gunrunner in the Pegasus World Cup, good second when against the track in the Dubai World Cup. I think if Javier had to do it all over again, he said he would not give the rail up going into the turn the first time to Thunder Snow. I think this horse needed a break. He was supposedly body sore all over after that race. Baffert, we know, is fine off of layoffs. I'm not sure he's going to get the trip that Timeform US has him. But I think this is a pretty good horse that basically, as a newly turned 4-year-old, was running 117 Beyer speed figures. He has a chance to just sort of take over the whole division in one fell swoop at the end of this year.
Yeah, no, he was clearly a good 3-year-old last year. Second half of the year, he didn't get into the Triple Crown races, but he went from strength to strength at the end of the year last year. Just kept getting better and better. His second and his third to Gun Runner, I thought he ran really well in both of those races. But to me, it was one of those situations where I felt like good 3-year-old could be really good this year. I'm very interested to see what happens as a 4-year-old. I don't know what happened as a 4 because I haven't seen him. He ran in the World Cup, but I hear what you're saying. Conceding the lead and the rail on a slow pace in the Dubai World Cup to Thundersnow was a bad idea. But did he really run great in that race? I didn't think he did. I don't know, Dan. I want to see what he does. And I know one thing for sure. He's going to be a short price in this race against a horse who is on fire right now. And so I just wonder, I think I might, we'll see how they wind up betting it. I think I'd just rather have the hot hand right
And again, it's possible that this horse is using this race as a stepping stone. This is what it is. It is a prep for the Breeders' Cup Classic. Accelerate. Isn't it nice to see what horses can do when they're allowed to run past the age of 4? Accelerate was always a horse with talent. No doubt about it. Graded stakes winner and third in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile is a 3-year-old, and at 40 beat Arrogate in that San Diego handicap and ran third in the Pacific Classic. He has just blossomed as a 5-year-old. There was one point during his career they said he'll never get a mile and a quarter.
Yeah, that's true.
Now he gets a mile and a quarter, and he's popping 111 and 115 Beyers. The Pacific Classic. The move he made entering the turn was breathtaking.
Yeah, I mean, he's just on a real roll right now. He's been really, really impressive, especially when they keep him home in Southern California. Not that he ran poorly when they shipped him to Oaklawn, but it's not like he had a big excuse in that race either. I mean, his races, especially his last two, have just been dynamite, and he's got the recency that West Coast doesn't have. Right. And listen, we're at the point now where West Coast is actually the horse stepping into this race with something to prove against a horse like Accelerate. We'll see if he can do it.
Accelerate's been super this year. You're going 6-5. I'm going 5-6. And the Grade 1 Awesome Again Stakes, part of the Breeders' Cup Challenge Series. A win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Classic. You can catch all the action and our colleague Matt Bernier on NBC SN Saturday beginning at 7 o'clock Eastern. Best of luck.